The sleek research vessel emerged from jump space with a gentle ripple, its silver hull gleaming under Earth's sun. Inside, First Light adjusted his protective suit's settings while studying the blue planet through the observation window. As the lead researcher for the Galactic Research Council's Wildlife Survey Division, he had visited thousands of worlds, but something about this one made his sensor stalks twitch. Gravity readings are concerning, his assistant, Deepwater, reported from the analysis station. This planet shows 1 g of gravitational force. Most civilized worlds we study range from 0.3 to 0.6 g. First Light moved his upper limbs in a gesture of acknowledgement. Atmospheric pressure is also higher than standard. The indigenous species must have remarkable structural integrity to survive these conditions. The research team had chosen a remote location in what the locals called North America for their initial survey. Their ship, disguised with advanced cloaking technology, touched down in a heavily forested area near a clearing. The team of 6 researchers prepared their equipment for their first expedition to study Earth's wildlife. Remember, First Light instructed his team, no interference with the local fauna. We observe only. This is a preliminary survey to classify this world's biological threat level. As they emerged from their ship, the researchers immediately noticed the density of the air. Their protective suits compensated, but they could feel the pressure. The forest around them buzzed with activity. Small flying creatures moved between tall wooden structures, and various sounds echoed through the air. Deepwater activated his scanning equipment. "Sir, I'm detecting thousands of different life forms within just a 100-meter radius. The biodiversity is unprecedented." First Light was about to respond when something caught his attention. A small creature with fur and a bushy tail scampered down one of the wooden structures. The team watched in fascination as it moved with incredible speed and agility. "Analysis," First Light commanded softly. "Species appears to be what locals call a squirrel," Deepwater reported. "Small mammalian creature, primarily herbivorous." "Wait, these readings can't be right." "Explain," First Light demanded, his sensor stalks focusing on the seemingly innocent creature. "Its muscle density is remarkable. The creature can survive falls from heights that would kill most species. Its metabolic rate is extremely high, and its neural responses are faster than our standard measurement systems were designed to record." The squirrel suddenly leaped between trees, crossing a gap that seemed impossibly wide. The alien researchers watched in stunned silence as it practically defied gravity, its tiny claws finding purchase on rough bark with perfect precision. "And this is considered a non-predatory species?" First Light asked, his voice carrying a note of disbelief. "Correct, sir. According to local classifications, this is one of their more harmless creatures." As if to emphasize this point, a larger flying creature suddenly swooped down, causing the researchers to duck instinctively. The bird, as locals called it, snatched an insect from the air with perfect precision, its reaction time far exceeding what should be possible for a creature of its brain size. First Light made a decision. "Set up observation posts in multiple locations. I want continuous monitoring of all major ecological zones, forests, grasslands, aquatic environments, everything. If this is what they consider harmless, we need to understand what they consider dangerous." As the team began setting up their equipment, a distant sound made them freeze. A deep, throaty roar echoed through the trees, coming from several kilometers away. "What was that?" one of the junior researchers asked, their protective suits' temperature regulation working overtime to cool their suddenly stressed system. Deepwater consulted his database. Local records call it a mountain lion. It's not even classified among their top predators. First Light's sensor stalks quivered as he processed this information. In all his years of biological research across the galaxy, he had never encountered a world where even the herbivores displayed such advanced survival capabilities. Something about this planet had created creatures that defied galactic standards of biological development. "Send an initial report to the Council," he ordered. Classification update needed. This is no ordinary world, and we've only just begun our survey. The research team worked quickly to establish their observation posts, each member increasingly aware that they were studying something unprecedented in galactic scientific history. Above them, the squirrel watched their activities with bright, alert eyes, its supposedly simple brain processing information faster than the aliens' most advanced portable computers could measure. Earth, it seemed, had many surprises in store for them. After 3 days of observation, First Light's research team gathered in their cloaked ship to review their findings. The screens around them displayed footage that had kept the entire team awake during Earth's night cycles. "Play the wolf pack recording," First Light instructed. A main screen lit up with images from their night vision cameras. A pack of gray creatures moved through the forest with what the aliens could only describe as military precision. Their thermal signatures blazed bright against the cool forest background. These wolves showed coordinated hunting patterns that match our most advanced military units, Deepwater reported, his voice trembling slightly. They can run for hours without rest, communicate across large distances, and their bite force exceeds the crushing strength of industrial machinery on most civilized worlds. The footage showed the wolf pack taking down a large creature called an elk. The precision of their attack patterns made several researchers turn away from the screen. Most disturbing, First Light noted, is their problem-solving ability. Observer Third Stone, share your morning report. Third Stone stepped forward, still looking shaken. "I watched a single wolf figure out how to open one of our sealed sample containers. It shouldn't have been possible. The lock mechanism isn't even based on Earth technology." The team's attention shifted to another screen showing their bear encounter. The massive brown creature had wandered near one of their observation posts the previous day. "The bear's physical capabilities defy our understanding of biology," Deepwater continued. "Its muscle density should make movement impossible, yet it can run at high speeds. We recorded it catching fish with reaction times faster than our measuring equipment can track." First Light raised 3 of his limbs for attention, but the most concerning data comes from the herbivores. "Show the hippopotamus footage." The screen changed to show recordings from their African observation post. A massive gray creature moved through the water with impossible grace for its size. "These hippos are plant eaters," Third Stone explained, "yet they kill more of the local humans than any other large animal in this region. Their skin is thick enough to repel most impacts. They can run underwater, and their bite force." He paused, double-checking his data. "Their bite force could crush our ship's outer hull." The team sat in uncomfortable silence as they watched a herd of elephants next. The massive creatures gently used their strange nose limbs to lift fallen companions, showed complex emotional responses, and displayed intelligence that rivaled some galactic species. Their physical strength would classify them as heavy assault units on any military world, Deepwater noted. Yet humans consider them gentle giants. First Light moved to the center of the room. "We need to discuss the pattern emerging from our data. Every Earth species we've studied shows characteristics that would be considered weapons-grade on other worlds. The predators have attack capabilities exceeding our military design standards. Even the herbivores have defense mechanisms that would qualify as restricted technology in most of the galaxy." A junior researcher raised a limb. "Could it be the gravity? The atmospheric pressure?" "Partly," First Light answered. "But there's more. These creatures didn't just evolve to survive. They evolved to overwhelm. Every species seems designed to be the perfect killing machine in its own way." The screens around them showed more footage. A moose charging through deep snow as if it wasn't there, a badger digging through solid ground faster than mining equipment, a simple house cat landing from impossible heights without injury. "We need to expand our study," First Light decided. "The Council must understand what we're dealing with here. Every Earth creature we've encountered would be classified as a living weapon on any other world, and we still haven't studied their oceans in detail." As if to emphasize his point, their perimeter sensors suddenly blared in alarm. On the screen, They watched as a mountain lion took down a deer, its movement so fast their high-speed cameras barely captured it. "This planet," Deepwater said quietly, "it's not just a world. It's a fortress where everything has evolved to be a perfect weapon. And somehow, humans have become the dominant species here." First Light's sensor stalks quivered. "Tomorrow, we begin our ocean surveys. Though after what we've seen on land, I'm not sure we're prepared for what we'll find in Earth's waters." The team members all knew that their mission had become something more than a simple wildlife survey. They were documenting what might be the most dangerous ecosystem in the known galaxy. The research vessel hovered silently above the Pacific Ocean, its cloaking systems working hard against the salt spray. First Light and his team had prepared for their marine survey, but nothing could have truly readied them for Earth's oceans. "Water pressure readings are extreme," Deepwater announced from the control room. "Most galactic marine life would be crushed at these depths, yet our scans show abundant life forms down there." Their first shock came when they lowered their observation probe into what humans called the shallow waters near a coral reef. The video feed showed a creature that made the entire research team freeze in horror. "Great white shark detected," Third Stone reported, his voice barely a whisper. "Length, 6 meters. Speed exceeds our probe's tracking capabilities." They watched as the massive predator moved through the water with impossible grace. Its sensor readings broke their scientific instrument scales. "The bite force," Deepwater said, checking multiple screens to confirm his readings. "It's stronger than our military-grade battle armor, and its ability to detect electrical signals is more sensitive than our best scientific equipment." The shark suddenly turned, attacking their probe with frightening speed. The screen filled with rows of teeth before going dark. When they retrieved the probe, it had been bitten clean in half. "And this isn't even their most dangerous marine predator," First Light noted, his protective suit struggling to regulate his elevated stress levels. They moved their ship to deeper waters, launching their reinforced deep-sea probe. As it descended into the darkness, the team discovered horrors that defied their understanding of biology. "Creature detected at 800 meters. Third Stone reported. Species, giant squid. Its nervous system is more complex than our ship's computer network." They watched in stunned silence as the massive creature moved through the darkness, its intelligence evident in every calculated movement. But what truly shocked them came from even deeper. "Life forms detected at 2,500 meters, Deepwater announced. Temperature near freezing. Pressure that should make life impossible. Yet, the screen showed creatures living near hydrothermal vents, thriving in conditions that would destroy any known technology from their civilization. Tube worms longer than their ship, crabs that could survive in boiling water, fish that created their own light, each discovery more impossible than the last. "New contact," Third Stone suddenly shouted, something small approaching the probe. The camera focused on a tiny, beautiful creature floating gracefully through the water. Its tentacles danced in the current, rings of bright blue glowing on its body. "Species identified as blue-ringed octopus," Deepwater read from their database. His next words came out shakily. "Its venom. Its venom is classified as a weapon of mass destruction by our military standards. There's no known protection against it in our medical database." First Light moved closer to the screen. "How do humans survive in these waters?" "They don't, sir," Third Stone replied. "They've learned to stay away from most of these creatures. Though," he checked his data tablet, "they do sometimes enter the water for something called surfing or scuba diving." The team's attention was drawn to new readings from their sensors. A massive shape moved below their probe, larger than their research vessel. "Sperm whale," Deepwater identified. "It can dive deeper than our best submarines, stay underwater longer than our life support systems can manage, and its echolocation clicks are powerful enough to stun prey." As they watched, the whale dove deeper, hunting creatures in the darkness with precision that their best military sonar couldn't match. "Send a priority message to the Council," First Light ordered. Earth's oceans require immediate reclassification. This isn't just a habitat. It's a weapons testing ground where every creature has evolved into a perfect killing machine. A new alarm sounded, and the screen showed a box jellyfish drifting past their probe. Its tentacles, nearly invisible in the water, contained enough toxin to kill thousands of beings their size. The most disturbing part, Third Stone added, looking at his readings, is that we've only explored about 5% of Earth's oceans. What else is hiding in the other 95%? First Light's sensor stalks drooped with exhaustion and stress. We need to continue our survey, but first, strengthen all our remaining probes and add a note to the Council report. Earth's oceans make its land look peaceful by comparison. The team returned to their monitoring stations, each member now understanding why no other galactic civilization had established underwater colonies on Earth. The oceans weren't just dangerous. They were an evolutionary arms race that had created the deadliest creatures in known space. The research team had faced Earth's large predators and survived studying its ocean monsters. Now they turned their attention to smaller creatures, expecting a break from the horrors they'd witnessed. They couldn't have been more wrong. First Light stared at the magnified image on their main screen, his protective suit barely containing his trembling. How small did you say this creature is? The bullet ant is approximately 2.5 centimeters long. Deepwater replied, adjusting the microscanner. But its venom. Sir, its pain-inducing capability exceeds our military-grade nerve weapons. They watched as the tiny black insect moved across a tree branch. Its powerful mandibles could slice through materials that their own cutting tools struggled with. Play the footage from the rainforest study, First Light ordered. The screen showed their microprobe following a colony of bullet ants. The level of organization made several researchers back away from the display. They work like a perfect military unit, Third Stone observed. Their communication is more efficient than our planetary defense networks, and their strength, relative to size. He paused, double-checking his data. A single ant can lift 50 times its body weight. It would be like one of us lifting an entire spacecraft. First Light moved to another screen showing a different specimen. What about this one? Brazilian wandering spider, Deepwater answered. Its venom contains a complex neurotoxin that our most advanced medical systems can't replicate. And its speed. He adjusted the playback to slow motion. Even at this speed, we can barely track its movements. The team had set up micro-observation posts around the world, studying Earth's smallest creatures. Each discovery led to more disturbing revelations. Show the wasp footage, First Light requested. The screen displayed a tarantula hawk wasp dragging a spider several times its size. The wasp's sting was rated so high on the pain scale that their measurement systems had to be recalibrated. The most disturbing part, Third Stone added, is their precision. This wasp doesn't kill its prey. It paralyzes it and lays eggs inside. The larva then. He stopped, his sensor stalks quivering. Continue the report. First Light insisted, though his own protective suit was working overtime to manage his stress levels. The larvae eat the spider alive, avoiding vital organs to keep it fresh. The level of biological precision involved exceeds our best medical procedures. A new alert drew their attention to another screen showing microscopic images from their water analysis. Water bears, Deepwater identified. Tardigrades. They can survive in space, withstand temperatures from near absolute zero to well above boiling, go without water for decades, and resist radiation levels that would destroy our strongest shielding. First Light's sensor stalks swayed in disbelief. These creatures break every rule of biology we know. Show the honeybee data. The screens filled with images of complex hive structures and dance patterns that conveyed more information than some of their own communication systems. Their navigation abilities exceed our best guidance systems, Third Stone reported. They can communicate complex three-dimensional coordinates through dance movements. And their venom. Don't remind me, Deepwater interrupted, touching his suit where a bee had stung him during their initial survey. The suit's medical systems had taken 3 days to neutralize the venom. First Light moved to the center of the room. We haven't even discussed the microorganisms yet. Earth's bacteria and viruses show survival capabilities that make our most resilient life forms look fragile. The team watched footage of dust mites, mosquitoes carrying deadly diseases, and ants forming living bridges to cross gaps. Each tiny creature seemed designed for maximum deadly efficiency. Update the Council report. First Light ordered. Earth's small creatures require a separate weapons classification. Their abilities aren't just extraordinary, they're tactically superior to our most advanced military technology. As if emphasizing this point, their perimeter sensors detected movement. On the screen, they watched a small spider build a web stronger than their industrial cables, perfectly engineered to trap prey. The most terrifying part, Deepwater said quietly, is that humans consider most of these creatures pests. They live alongside them, barely noticing these walking weapons. First Light's sensor stalks drooped with exhaustion. Tomorrow, we begin studying the humans themselves. After seeing what they've evolved alongside, I'm not sure I want to know how they became the dominant species. The research team returned to their analysis, each member now understanding that on Earth, deadly power didn't correlate with size. In this world, even the smallest creatures were perfectly evolved weapons. First Light and his team positioned their cloaked observation posts around a human settlement, preparing for the most crucial phase of their research. After documenting Earth's arsenal of living weapons, they needed to understand how humans have become the planet's dominant species. First observation point reporting. Deepwater's voice came through the ship's communication system. Subject: human female with what appears to be a dog, one of their domesticated predators. The team watched as the human jogged along a trail, the four-legged predator running beside her. The dog's capabilities matched their military patrol units, yet it playfully followed the human's commands. Second observation point, Third Stone reported. Human male approaching one of their horses, herbivorous creatures with enough kick force to shatter our strongest armor. The screen showed the human calmly walking up to the massive animal, placing a strange device on its back, and then mounting it. The horse, capable of outrunning most Earth predators, submitted to being ridden. How? First Light wondered aloud. How did they achieve this level of control? Their attention shifted to another screen showing a human settlement called a farm. The humans had somehow convinced deadly creatures to live together in harmony. Chickens that shared ancestors with velociraptors, cattle that could crush vehicles with their horns, and guard dogs that could outfight their best combat units. New footage from the urban zone, Deepwater announced. The team watched as a human child played with a small feline, a creature they had previously documented as having reflexes faster than their tracking systems could measure. These cats, Third Stone noted, checking his data, are perfect killing machines. Retractable claws, night vision superior to our best equipment, incredible agility. Yet humans keep them in their homes as pets. First Light moved closer to the screens. Show the professional animal handler footage. The displays shifted to show humans working with various creatures. One human calmly reached into a tank containing a venomous snake. Another trained large cats that could tear through metal, and a third handled birds of prey that could dive faster than their ships could fly. Most concerning, Deepwater reported, is their ability to breed and modify these creatures. Look at the variations in their dogs alone. They've created hundreds of specialized variants. The screen showed more examples. Humans riding elephants through dense forests, training falcons to hunt on command, keeping venomous spiders in clear containers for study, and even swimming with massive sea creatures. Their physical capabilities don't explain this. First Light said, his sensor stalks twitching in confusion. Humans are not the strongest, fastest, or most durable creatures on their world. Yet somehow... Sir, Third Stone interrupted. You need to see this footage from their information networks. The main screen displayed humans performing what they called extreme sports, deliberately jumping from high places, swimming with predators, climbing frozen waterfalls, and running incredible distances. They seek out danger, Deepwater observed, his voice filled with disbelief. They deliberately challenge their world's deadliest conditions for entertainment. First Light's protective suit struggled to regulate his rising stress levels. Add this to the Council report. Humans haven't just survived alongside Earth's weapons, they've mastered them. They can communicate with, control, and even form emotional bonds with creatures that our civilization would classify as planet-killing threats. The team continued watching as humans demonstrated their unique abilities. Beekeepers calmly handling swarms of venomous insects, marine biologists swimming with great white sharks, and wildlife researchers tracking wolf packs through frozen forests. The implications are staggering, Third Stone said quietly. Any species that can not only survive but thrive in this environment, that can turn Earth's living weapons into companions, is more dangerous than all of them combined. First Light finished. Look at this. The screen showed a human training facility where they taught others how to handle various creatures. The humans weren't just controlling Earth's deadly wildlife. They were teaching others to do it too, spreading their mastery across their world. Prepare for the final phase of our study, First Light ordered. We need to understand exactly what makes humans different. The Council must know not just what they can do, but how they achieve this level of dominance on the deadliest planet we've ever discovered. The research team returned to their posts, each member now realizing that perhaps the most dangerous species on Earth wasn't any of the living weapons they'd documented. It was the seemingly ordinary creatures that had learned to master them all. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Research Council fell silent as First Light stepped onto the presentation platform. The curved walls displayed images from Earth, while council members from 1,000 worlds watched from their floating pods. Honorable Council, First Light began, his voice steady despite his trembling sensor stalks. Our team's findings about Earth require immediate action. This is not a standard wildlife report. The Chief Counselor's pod moved forward. Proceed. Research Leader First Light, show us why you requested this emergency session. The chamber's main display activated, showing their first recording. The seemingly harmless squirrel. Several council members made dismissive gestures. This small creature, First Light explained, can survive impacts that would destroy our military landing craft. Its reaction speed exceeds our fastest combat units, and this is considered one of Earth's most harmless species. The displays changed rapidly, showing their recordings. Wolves hunting in perfect military formation. Bears shrugging off impacts that would cripple battle tanks. Elephants displaying intelligence that matched some council species. Every Earth species we studied, Deepwater added from his support position, would qualify as a restricted biological weapon under council law. But that's not the most disturbing part. The screen showed their ocean footage. Council members recoiled as they watched great white sharks attacking their probes, giant squid displaying impossible intelligence, and creatures living in conditions that should have been lethal. Point of order. A council member interrupted. Are you suggesting that a single planet evolved all these weapons naturally? Yes, First Light replied simply. And we haven't even shown you the small ones. The chamber erupted in shocked murmurs as the displays showed microscopic images. Bullet ants with venom that exceeded military nerve agents, spiders that built structures stronger than industrial cables, tardigrades that could survive conditions that would destroy council technology. These findings are impossible, another council member declared. No world could produce such consistently deadly life forms. The chief counselor raised a limb for silence. Yet our sensors confirm these recordings are genuine. Research leader, what caused this evolutionary pattern? First Light moved to the center of the platform. Earth's gravity, atmospheric pressure, and climate variations created an evolutionary arms race. Every species developed incredible abilities just to survive. What we consider weapons-grade capabilities, they consider normal. The displays showed more footage. A box jellyfish paralyzing prey with impossible precision. a bombardier beetle creating chemical reactions that matched military weapons, and wasps with stingers that could penetrate their best armor. We recommend, First Light continued, that Earth be classified as a death world, Category 1. All its native species should be classified as potential biological weapons. No colonization should be attempted. No species should be removed from the planet. The chamber burst into chaos. Council members argued about containment protocols, research possibilities, and military implications. The chief counselor had to emit a sonic pulse to restore order. What about the humans? The chief counselor asked. How did they become the dominant species in this living arsenal? First Light's sensor stalks drooped slightly. That is the most concerning part of our findings. Humans haven't just survived among these living weapons. They've mastered them. The screen showed humans handling venomous snakes, training predators, riding massive beasts, and swimming with ocean monsters. The council chamber went completely silent. They keep deadly predators in their homes. Deep water added. They breed new variants of dangerous species. They study and catalog Earth's weapons with a casual interest that terrifies our research team. Motion to classify Earth as a restricted zone. A council member called out. Seconded. Came multiple responses. The chief counselor raised all four limbs for attention. Before we vote, research leader First Light, do you have a final statement? First Light looked around the chamber, seeing the fear in his fellow scientists' postures. Honorable Council, we came to study Earth's wildlife. We discovered a planet where every living thing is a weapon. But in doing so, we found something far more significant, a species that considers these living weapons to be normal. The implications of that discovery, they should concern us all. The Council began their vote, while the screens continued showing images from Earth, a planet where the deadliest creatures in known space were considered ordinary, and where the seemingly ordinary creatures might be the deadliest of all. 2 cycles after their report to the Council, First Light's research team made one final visit to Earth. Their ship hovered invisibly above a human city, where the true nature of humanity had finally become clear to them. Display all comparative analysis results. First Light ordered, his sensor stalks no longer trembling with fear, but with a new emotion. Awe. The ship's main screen filled with their complete findings. Deep Water read from his final report. Humans appear physically unremarkable. No natural weapons, no exceptional speed, no armor-like skin. Yet they dominate a planet full of living weapons. We finally understand why. Show the urban park footage, First Light requested. The screen displayed a scene that would have terrified them weeks ago. A human child carefully feeding a group of predatory birds, while nearby, another human napped on the grass near a creature that could tear through metal with its claws, a common house cat. 3 days ago, Third Stone added, we watched a human walk into a burning structure to rescue one of their pet animals. Their protective gear was far inferior to our suits, yet they didn't hesitate. First Light moved to another screen showing their historical data. Humans didn't become Earth's dominant species by being the strongest or fastest. They did it by being the most adaptable. Every other species evolved specific weapons: teeth, claws, venom, size. But humans evolved to use everything. Deep Water finished. They can survive in any environment on their planet. Desert, Arctic, forest, mountains. They adapt and thrive everywhere. The screen showed more evidence. Humans swimming alongside giant whales, training wolves to be companions, keeping venomous snakes as pets, studying the deadliest insects with casual interest. Most importantly, First Light continued, they can understand and communicate with any species. They learned the hunting patterns of predators, the behaviors of prey, the dangers of the smallest creatures. Then they did something unprecedented. They started forming emotional bonds with them. The team watched new footage: a human veterinarian treating a wounded bear, a marine biologist swimming with sharks, a beekeeper calmly handling thousands of stinging insects. The Council's containment vote was based on a fundamental misunderstanding. Third Stone said, "They think we need to protect the galaxy from Earth's wildlife, but they're missing the real point." First Light's sensor stocks moved in agreement. The wildlife isn't the true wonder of Earth. It's the species that can look at the deadliest creatures in known space and see potential friends. Humans don't just survive among living weapons. They domesticate them, heal them, love them. The screen showed their most recent discovery, a human rehabilitation center where injured predators were treated and released back into the wild. The humans showed no fear, only concern for the creature's well-being. Final analysis, Deepwater announced. Humans are the most dangerous species on Earth, not because they're deadly, but because they can master and befriend anything that is deadly. They don't need natural weapons because they can understand and use every weapon their world has evolved. And that, First Light added, makes them more formidable than any naturally armed species we've ever encountered. The team watched their final piece of evidence, a human family playing in their yard. Their dog could track prey better than military sensors. Their cat had reflexes faster than combat robots. Their parrot had problem-solving abilities that matched some council species, and the humans treated them all like beloved family members. Send the final addendum to the council, First Light ordered. Earth shouldn't be quarantined because its wildlife is too dangerous. It should be quarantined because it produced a species that looks at the deadliest creatures in the galaxy and asks, "Can we be friends?" As their ship prepared to leave Earth's atmosphere, they watched one last scene. A human child carefully helping a spider out of their house, moving it to a garden instead of killing it. The same species of spider whose venom had destroyed their sampling equipment. Perhaps, First Light said quietly, we should be grateful humans decided to become friends with Earth's weapons instead of using them, because if they ever change their minds. The research team fell silent, understanding the true implications of their discovery. They weren't just leaving Earth. They were leaving a planet where the most dangerous ability wasn't the power to kill, but the power to turn any living weapon into a friend. And humans had mastered that power completely.